There's already 8 bastards here. How's that even possible? Why would there be people here already? That's ridiculous. Just waiting for them all to start rolling in now. Your top fan Bertie B is here. Bertie B, thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining me, Bertie. 10 new viewers have joined the broadcast. It's never a big one on a Friday. Let's be honest with ourselves. There's not going to be that many people tonight. We're not going to have a big crazy show. In fact, I might not even do a full hour. Maybe I'll just do 30 minutes. You know, I just want to check in on you. I want to see how you're doing. But, you know what I mean? It's Friday. You've all got much better things to do with your life. Sorry I'm a bit late. My mum made me tea. Because I am living with my parents at the moment. It's not the best time of my life. I think I have got a little bit of bolognese. Thank you, Ellie Shambles. And I think living with your mum is, living with your parents is a little bit, it's supposed to be sad, but as far as I can tell, I'm getting frickin', you know, meals every day. Hold on. And we're back. Just changing the Wi-Fi. I always forget to do it. What kind of tea, says Tasha Nedon? What do you mean tea? Do you mean what am I having for my tea? Don't ask me that, you perverts. That's a very personal thing. But it was meatballs. 100 people are watching you on YouTube right now. And YouNow is suggesting that I convince you to come across to YouNow so that you can use its marvellous features. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout at the end there. But if you are watching, whether you're watching on YouNow, YouTube, or from a bush, thank you, Eddie Shambles. This is my live kind of hour, sometimes a bit more than an hour, sometimes mostly under an hour. Thank you, Shanonymous. But it's a time of reflection. We've had a nice, thank you, Bertie B. We've had a long day. You know, the media has been attacking us with its constant, stories. JK, no, thank you. All our opinions, everybody's on Instagram. Thank you, Justin G. Everybody's on Instagram, showing off how they live their life. It's tough. So at this hour, I like to just calm down with you guys, and we'll just sit and just look at each other. It's a time with no internet, no laptops, no screens, just this live show, so that you can have a little bit of time, kind of, defragging, if you will, from the internet. And new phone, who dis, says Bertie B. Thank you, Nikita T. I'm just opening my window a little bit. I'm not jumping out. Bertie B, what do you mean? How's new phone? Who dis? I don't understand, Bertie B. You've lost me there. Your hair looks funky today, says Bertie B. It's a little bit greasy today. I don't think I washed it today. I don't think I've washed it for a few weeks now. I heard somewhere on in a BuzzFeed thing that if you don't wash your hair after a while, your body generates its own shampoo. Your hair can actually start cleaning itself, and it's amazing. It comes out of a dispenser between my legs. Thank you, Shanonymous. Thank you for your 100 bars. And thank you to anyone who supports this show with bars, even though the show itself has no content. There's almost, thank you, Hey It Dana. There is literally nothing to watch, Bertie B. Hey It Dana, Bertie B, Shanonymous, they're always here every day. my number one fans, my number two, my number three fans. You know, I go to sleep now with their names, you know, in my head. That's what their constant fandom has done to me. Hey It Dana, Bertie B, Tyler Richardson, Bisexual Izzy. I'm starting to remember some of you now. And freaks me the hell out. Can you please say hi to blank and blank? No, I don't do requests. And tiramisu. This is my first time watching your live stream. Normally watch Dan and Phil's, but I decided to shake things up a bit. You're going to be disappointed. I'm not quite, thank you, Dana. I'm not quite Dan, and I'm not quite Phil. I'm an uglier, more cynical, less talented version of those two. So if you like Dan and Phil, but you can't afford them, come to Crabstickz. You'll find my prices are reasonable and very competitive. I'm too busy to be here every night, Soz, says Spatulas in Space. The thing with this YouNow thing is it's not a YouTube channel. You know, these aren't videos. You don't have to watch them all. I mean, I'm thinking of broadcasting every night just because I find it quite amusing. I'm third in guys. But I wouldn't worry about missing them. I have a few of you have been saying I should upload them to YouTube, and I really don't think that's a good idea. Because these live shows are, dare I say, trash. Thank you, Sarah Liesel. Bertie B, thank you. They are uploaded on YouTube. I think there's a fan that does it for me. Thank you, Nikita T. They're played on YouTube, but I don't think they're uploaded. I mean, not that I know. I haven't even looked on my channel for years now. Well, not years. Hey, It Dana, you finally got my name right. Well, that's because you sent me angry emails. Sorry, I don't know why I've always read it, Hey, It's Dana. I mean, doesn't that make more sense? I mean, thank you, Shanonymous. I only read out your username in a way that made more sense. Hey, it's Dana. You know, what does Hey, It Dana? Hey, it Dana. Me, Dana. You British boy. Me, Dana. You know, that's what it sounds like. Ooh, I'm gonna stick with this coffee. It's a good one. You know, it's hard to get the mixture, you know, of milk and instant coffee granules correct, isn't it? Because I don't use a spoon. I just pour, you know, massive amounts. Fawzia Khan, thank you for your 50 bars. Welcome to the show. The Bagel Queen is here. If you were watching yesterday's show, we were discussing European bagel and her influence on Western economy. Thank you, the Golden Dreamers, for 50 likes. It's just going to be a lot of thank yous today. I'm not sure, thank you, Kyra Lynn, I'm not sure if I will be doing YouNow over the weekend, simply because, Bell Burger, simply because I feel like it's a bit too much, isn't it? I know I was, thank you, Maddie, somebody recommended I do 2 YouNows a week, and, you know, I kind of prefer doing 7, but I don't know. Because the thing is, I have been taking the weekends off doing YouNow, and they've not been. I kind of like the familiarity of it, you know. I like the structure of it. And anyway, I'm an online performer. I don't have any weekends. I don't have any time off. I don't have any bank holidays. I don't have any celebrations. I don't have any friends. I don't have any loved ones. You know, I think I could work through the weekend. Be my dad, please, says Mudblood Shadow Hunter. It's a very absurd thing, the whole daddy thing. Let's talk about it. It's obviously something I brush off. You know, I obviously say, okay, strange, but let's talk about it. Why would young girls on the internet who are interacting with an older person, Emma W, thank you, why would they call them daddy? And let's not forget that often the daddy comes with a little bit of sexual connotations. Hello from Texas, G Jinx, thank you, you've read my mind. The daddy thing is insane. If you are one of these young women that call people daddy, I would really, really want to know what your thinking is. Is it sexual? Is it to do with maybe not having a dad? Is it personal? Or is it because you want to have sex with your father? I mean, I'm just going to say it. Don't kink shame me, Chris. Well, the problem is that I think it's illegal, isn't it? So again, I'm just trying to get to the core of it. It's what I like doing. I'm a big fan of the mind. I'm a big fan of the brain, you know. I spent ages trying to get to the bottom of furries and why people would dress up as furries. I don't think I reached the bottom, but I got close. But I would love to know. Please tell me, why do some of you refer to people you fancy on the internet as your dad? It's because of trends, says Amelia S. I think, yeah, obviously a lot of you are probably doing it because, like, notice me senpai. There's certain phrases you can use, kind of certain, it's like a joke book of the internet, jokes that can be used, copy and paste. Is daddy just one of those? Is it just a meme? No, I generally would call you daddy if you let me. Oh, I see. Somebody's saying that the word daddy is superiority. It's a superiority complex. And they want me to call them daddy because they want me to be superior. They want me to be dominant. They're probably, not me personally, but I know, oh, it's gone. Well, there you go. That's all I wanted. I'm not kink shaming anyone. Whatever you've got going on, we are all expressions of the universe. You didn't decide any of your sexual kinks. You are an expression of the universe, and if the universe wants to express itself in your form, then that's, Why not say granddad, says Queen Lever. You're right. Why is granddad not a sexy thing? Sexy granddads. What do you think about choking, says Theon Gayjoy. It's nice to have you back, Theon Gayjoy. We've been missing you. What do I think of choking? I would say that, again, that is another little pattern that I see. A lot of these girls, and it usually is girls, I mean, I'm only just going off avatars, will say something like, choke me. Patriarchal figure restricting airflow, says Eleanor. So it's some kind of idea that if I choke them, that I'm a superior to them and I'm choking them. And that is turning them on. As I said, different strokes for different folks. I would like to know. I got it. Which I don't. I don't think I have a desire to choke anyone, because choking leads to death, and I don't think I wish death on anyone. You should talk to Dan about. Does Dan have a choking fetish? Does Dan like to be choked? Next time I see him at a YouTube party, I'll grab his throat. Bellburger, thank you. Bisexual Izzy has arrived, everyone. She's not been here for the past few web shows, but she's here now. Bisexual Izzy crashed through the window like some kind of bisexual tornado. And now she's here to spread her bisexual wonder in the chat and in premium messages. If you did weekends, you'd get all the America, says Bellburger. I don't know if that's the case, is it? If I just quickly Google, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it in? I'm going to go with Los Angeles, my favourite city. Excuse me, 11:28. So that means I would get the kind of early morning crowd, is it? I mean, I think I've done a weekend. I mean, maybe I should just do a weekend just to see what happens. Not saying I'm definitely going to do weekends. Just, I just feel it ruins the rhythm. I do 5 days a week and then I stop at weekends, and it's not as if it's work. I enjoy it. I feel like I'm just waiting. Can you please choke Donald Trump? That's a call for an assassination, and that's not allowed on YouNow. Not anymore. But maybe I should see it. I'll see what happens on the weekend. If I do a weekend, maybe, we'll get a whole new batch of daddies. Broadcast at 2 a.m. instead. I do sometimes, like last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I did wonder to myself, I wonder what would happen if I just went live now. I really can't, though, because I'm in a small house with my mum and sister, and they would probably be awoken by me doing Shrek impressions into my laptop. Another Fantastic Four vid, says Local Fan Trash. Obviously, Local Fan Trash is living in some kind of time loop. Maybe she's just discovered the Fantastic Foursome, and she hasn't checked the sell-by date on the videos. If you look on the date of the last Fantastic Foursome video, you'll see that it's well over 6 years old. So another one is not very likely. Do you have any kinks, Chris? Of course I do. Everyone does bisexual, Lizzie, but I'm not about to declare them on the internet. I find that when you're in a relationship with someone, discovering their kinks is part of the fun, isn't it? And you wouldn't want to know them already, would you? It's like discovering a hidden, trophy in a video game, an Easter egg. Maybe they're into that, having sex with Easter eggs. The daddy thing makes me want to die, says Justin G. So obviously Justin there is not so turned on by the daddy complex that a lot of you do seem to have. What do you want your tombstone to say? I'm not going to have a tombstone. I don't believe in them. I plan to do what Obi-Wan Kenobi did. Obviously, I'm going to have my all my chakras going. Every single chakra is going to have to be whirling. I'm going to have to be completely one with the universe. And when I die, I am simply going to disappear. My cloak, or whatever I'm wearing, probably nothing, just a singular pair of pants, is going to fall to the floor, and I'm going to be completely part of the universe. So tombstones are irrelevant. Do you think Trump's wife, Melania, farts in bed? Thank you, Vanina Hood. I presume she does. I mean, it all depends on her diet, really. I think if she eats in a way that, obviously she's a very skinny lady, she probably has nutritionists to help her do it. She probably has a diet which limits farting. I'm not saying that maybe she does fart, maybe unconsciously. Maybe she farts, but she's in a deep sleep. She doesn't know she's doing it. And I imagine it would only be a right little tiny one. Because her diet, I'm sure, doesn't involve having large amounts of pizza and chips or something with that kind of gaseous effect. I imagine, this is all just fucking dreams. Whatever happened to your little pup, says Megan H. My little pup? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean the dog Baymax? I was staying with a friend for a little while, and she owned the dog that I called Kitty, which annoyed her a lot. I just don't know why. When I saw it, I really just wanted to call it Kitty. I mean, that's the thing. You always, when you want a cat to come over, you would say, "Oh, come on, kitty, kitty, kitty." Whereas with a dog, there isn't that kind of name, is there? You don't say doggy, doggy. Some of you might, or you say its name, but I think it was just more the fact it was so tiny that it kind of looked like a cat. But the dog is now currently in a brand new house somewhere in Oxfordshire or Nottingham or somewhere. And it hasn't written to me, or it hasn't sent me any text, so, you know, he's hardly missing me. Bell Burger, your kink is roleplay, Shrek and Trump. I think maybe, you know, it might be. I don't think I've discovered any particular kinks with any relationships because I've not had one ever. But I imagine dressing up as Donald Trump and acting out some kind of fake news article would be quite erotic. I'm at a gig, but I'm here watching, says Vampet Lauren. I really doubt that's the case, Vampet. You can't be at a gig. Thank you, Justine G. That feels highly ridiculous that you'd be at a gig and not enjoying the gig. It must be quite a shit gig. My dog is named Bear, so I get it, says Megan H. You know, exactly. I think dogs are starting to act a lot like dogs now, and more like other creatures. But if you think about it, Baby is weird too, says Bell Burger. It is a bit weird, isn't it? All the kind of straight fucking names for each other are a bit incestuous. Daddy, baby, mummy, you know, it's all mama. It's all very fucking Texan, I want to say. If that offends you, I apologise. When will we attack the top broadcast? Cased. When will we attack the top broadcast? Says not Julia. What is the top broadcast? Let's have a look. Because it's not me. It's Mike Smalls Jr. Now, I was just going to click on his name to see who it was, but if I do that, we will lose everything. So let's just put into my Google, who is Mike Smalls Jr.? I want to know. I want to see. Mike Smalls Jr. Twitter. Followers 33,000. He's a YouNower. So he's put YouNow as his top thing. He's got a YouTube as well. I just wanted to see a description. I want to see what his angle on life is. Let's have a look at his about section. Hello everybody, my name is Mike Smalls and my job is to make sure every time you click play on one of my YouTube videos that you are thoroughly entertained. I like this guy already. If not, well, sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. Bye. 4,711. Well, I've subscribed. I'll click subscribe so we can get to know Mike Smalls a little better. But as you can see there, 12,000 people are watching him right now. Aldous World is number 2. Let's have a look who Aldous World is. Aldous World. Is that it? Is it just Aldous World? Aldous World TV. I can't imagine many kids are calling themselves so-and-so TV anymore. Because TV is now irrelevant. Aldous World TV YouTube. Let's have a look. New videos every week. Jesus Christ. Even I can't do new videos every week. And there doesn't seem to be a description. But he looks cool. Subscribe to him. 443. You know, I just like to stay involved. I'm subscribed to thousands of people, to be honest. I find it makes it easier. It makes it easier to concentrate, I think, on YouTube and the craziness that is the YouTube community. When I'm subscribed to so many people, it's impossible to, catch up on my subscription. So I do miss a lot just because of the massive amount of people I'm subscribed to, which I find is a lot better. Daniela H, thank you. What should I paint? I'll tweet a pic, says Spooky for you. I want you to paint Spooky for you, my darling. I want you to paint how politics is making you feel. I don't want you to paint any particular politician or any particular political story or movement. I want you to paint your feelings, and I want to be able to discuss that in another YouNow broadcast. What is my kinks in my Netflix show? What? Bisexual Lizzie, are you drunk, my darling? By the way, Cure for Wellness was amazing, says Megan H. Megan H recommended that film to me. I know I definitely do want to see it. I think it's one of those films that is, a high concept, you've probably not seen it before type of films. And I imagine a lot of people aren't going to like it because of that. I think people kind of like their films to be a bit copy and paste. But I have found quite a nice trend in the movies that I like is they tend to be not liked by many people. Thank you, Justine G. Usually because I like films to be completely weird. Opinions on Dana's profile pic. Dana, that's a picture of me, I believe, in Los Angeles. Thank you for making me your profile pic. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basically free publicity for me, isn't it? Thank you, Dr. Ducklington. Please do 7 a week, says Justine G. I mean, we can play around. We can have an experiment. I do plan on bringing, doing YouTube videos as well, and hopefully we can get some kind of show going. I want to be able to expand the YouNow experience so that you people at home get a full experience. I don't know if I can do that at the moment while living with my mum's Wi-Fi, but I really do see good things with YouNow. So who knows? If you could change your name, what would you change it to? Says Francis K. I'm always a fan of Chris. I've always been a fan of Chris. But let's go with Oompa. I would like to be called Oompa. Not Oompa Loompa, just Oompa. And then have a brother called Loompa. But I'm called Oompa. Thank you, Mudblood's Shadow Hunter. Have you ever tried journaling? Yeah, it's boring and shit. The past is the past, let it go. Maybe have a fan art review session one week, says Sarah Lisa L. I think I do want to do that. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm having problems with motivation at the moment. I have a lot of ideas for YouTube videos, but I'm finding it difficult to actually get myself doing them. I would love to do a fan art review session once a week, but I'm very, very tired all of the time. Whisker Lesters, thank you. God bless you. Whenever you go live, it's 3 a.m. here, says Shanonymous. I'm sorry if you're in the wrong time zone. I do apologise. This is the best time for me to broadcast. Yeah, I've just had my dinner. There's nothing much to do. It's 8 p.m. An hour before my bedtime. Thank you, Jasmine. Please can you unite the uglies? What? I couldn't hear what you said about paint, says Spooky for you. Just paint some trees. Some trees with faces. That'd be cool. Join our GC. We're all in here. I'm afraid I can't join any GCs. I don't know or what they are. Group chats. I don't know how to join group chats. And I don't really want to find out because I don't really want to know what you guys are talking about behind my back because it's probably about daddies and weird things. I'm just going to quickly check my Twitter, see if anybody is talking about the live show. No. What was for dinners tonight, Megan H? I want to know what you had for dinner tonight. Never mind me. But it was meatballs. We talk about smart stuff, says Wei Che. Do you? Smart stuff. Like, what Harry Potter house are you? Me. Crabstickz is now second in guys. I'm going up in the world. Thought I saw a spider then, but it was in my head. I had bagels for dinner. Of course you had bagels for dinner, you mad bastard. You're European bagels. You're famous for it. The day anyone takes a picture of you not having a bagel for your dinner will be an absolute international scandal. Oof. Here comes the meatballs. What chores do you have to do? I have 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't do chores. You know, well, I'll do the pots and I clean the bathroom. And I help do wallpapering and, you know, but I don't do chores, okay? And a bit of hoovering. Keep having to run round after the dog, says the Vic Star. Why are you running after a dog? You can't have sex with it. I'm not drunk, I think, says Bisexual Izzy. Can you give a shout out to my cat, Ned? Meow. Oh. Can you even see my comments, says Katrina K. No, I'm sorry. I couldn't quite read that. Couldn't see it, sorry. My dark circles are becoming black circles, but it's worth it because of you, says Shanonymous. Go to bed. You're not missing anything, my darling. Go to bed, for the love of God. Dream about me instead. Beam. You know, one day we will have, you know, microchips in our brains and I'll be able to beam straight into your skull. Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? Are you posting on Instagram again now, says Nikita T. Meh, I'm not the kind of person who takes pictures of myself. I just cannot be bothered. I see something I think looks pretty. I don't want to take a picture of it. I think I've got a really nice haircut today. I don't want to give a picture of it. Do you know what I mean? European bagel. But then sometimes I do, you know. Sometimes I, you know, like the other day I was on the bus with my little sister and I was a bit, you know, it was a, you know, a bus ride, not too interesting. And I thought, ooh, yeah, I'll take a picture of me and my sister. Why not? You know. But and then everyone's like, oh wow, you're back on Instagram. I'm like, well, no, I just took a picture. I do have an idea recently where I might just I might actually just post pictures on Instagram, just drawings. Maybe do a drawing a day or something. I'm just not a very taking a picture of myself person. But Instagram's quite fun. I could find something else to do with it, I think. Opinions on the iDubbbz drama, says Spooper. Spooper, would you be able to tell me if you're talking about the recent drama or some kind of new drama? Are you talking about just that old thing with the N-word? Yeah, with Tanner. Yeah, that's old. That's the thing with YouTube drama. I think this is why a lot of people... Thank you, Gemma101, for 50 bars. God bless you. That's why I think a lot of YouTubers are going to start getting away with doing stuff, whether they're right or wrong, because no one really cares the next day. It's like the iDubbbz drama. Nobody really cares now. It's old. It's old. It's like a week old. We're moving on. He's forgiven. They're forgiven. We're all forgiven. I mean, it's Trump's America. Luca Puka. Thank you. God bless you, Luca Puka. You take 8 years to read my messages, says Justin G. Doubt it. But, you know, I just like to take my time. You know, I'm not rushing this. You know, life should not be rushed. Opinions on the PewDiePie drama. It's old. It's 2 days old now. They tried to piss him off just to get some views for the paper. It didn't work, although I think it did work for everyone involved, didn't it? More press for the media, more press for PewDiePie. At the end of the day, it worked out pretty well for everyone involved, didn't it? No one came out at all bad. Wall Street Journal is still a massive newspaper that is read by everyone. Well, I mean, lots of people. I know there's a lot of online... Thank you, Ellie Shambles. A lot of kind of young online kids saying, I refuse to read the Wall Street Journal. You didn't read it anyway, you pleb. PewDiePie got loads of free press. All the magazines, it's just another day in the magazine world. It's fucking brilliant. Hey it, Dana, thank you. Thank you. Nah, Scare PewDiePie is cancelled. I don't think PewDiePie minds that much. When he was doing the show last time, he did a video of him nearly crying in a car, saying he was doing too much. I think, personally, with PewDiePie, I think he is one of the best YouTubers now, isn't he? He's definitely the best at YouTube. But I would say that I'm not sure I would want to see him in a... Thank you, Ellie Shambles. I don't think I really want to see him in a television show or in any kind of web series show. He's not really an actor. He's not really a comedian, which isn't a bad thing because he's a brand new thing. He's a YouTuber, and I think he is a good YouTuber. I definitely didn't want to watch Scare PewDiePie. I think it may have been kind of the people who work with him, because obviously he's not a comedian. He isn't coming up with show ideas or, sitcoms and stuff. Thank you, Eleanor. So I imagine somebody proposed it to him, somebody who said, well, you've got a lot of young fans, so let's do something about jump scares. And it's one of those shows where it's like watching a rich person go on holiday. Scare PewDiePie was him having a really fun time doing something, and I don't know whether that's necessarily fun to watch. But Chris, why are you constantly rebooting your YouTube career? I need a regular dose of the sticks. I don't know. I think I did start to realise recently, and obviously because of the PewDiePie stuff, and I watch PewDiePie, I think I'm interested in bringing back my YouTube, but in a way that makes sense with YouTube now, rather than any kind of, like I said before, I don't really talk about creative ideas on YouNow, or because I prefer to just do it myself and then have you see it. Do you know what I mean? But here's my current view on YouTube. Thank you, Justin G, which I'd love to know your opinions on. I've always been an arguer of, quality versus quantity, and that thank you, Shanonymous, as a kind of arty-farty wanker, you intrinsically go with quality, and it doesn't matter about quantity. But I think YouTube is actually about quantity. I think if you can do 10 minutes of anything a day, it doesn't really matter if it's not that great. People want that regular dose. And I know a lot of people like Tiramisu, it is, sadly enough. I don't think in the world of YouTube that quantity is a bad thing. Because what you get as a YouTube subscriber to someone is you get a constant kind of look into somebody else's life. So you're sharing somebody else's life. Alfie Days, for example, he's quantity over quality. But that doesn't slow him down, because people aren't looking for short films from Alfie Day. They're looking for that vlog of his life. I've always said I can't really do vlogs because my life isn't as interesting as the rich people. But I think if you're going to do YouTube, you should be doing YouTube, if you know what I mean. You can use it as a place to post films or post sketches or post, whatever. And you're not going to get a lot of subscribers, if you know what I mean. I think there's a lot of people on the internet that say, why am I not getting more subscribers? I think the rule is, if you're not doing 10 minutes every single day, I don't think you're going to get subscribers. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what the website is. Now, obviously, for example, it changes with everything. If you're going to be a stand-up comedian, you come up with an hour every single year. If you're going to do a film, you come up with one every 2 years or whatever. If you're going to be a YouTuber, you have to do a video every day, I think. Or whatever you come up with, 2 a week, or only on weekdays. But what I mean is, it has to be something like that, because if you don't, then you're not playing YouTube, if you know what I mean. If you don't post every single day and make 10-minute long videos, and then say something like, why am I not getting loads of subscribers? Why am I not big on YouTube? That's why. You have to do it every single day. Dan and Phil don't upload daily. There's definitely, thank you, Hey It Dana. There's definitely, especially with people like Dan and Phil that have been on it a longer time, they have built up an audience over a much longer period. There's a one kid that I'm really fascinated with I think he's called Morgs. Does anybody here follow Morgs? I don't know if I'm saying it right, actually. Morgs. I'll just put it in. Is it Morgs? I don't know, because he did a video, didn't he, saying yeah, so Morgs is this kid. He looks 12. I don't think he's 12. And he's really young. And he made a video that kind of went a bit viral, saying I'd quit school to start doing YouTube. And the reason why I was fascinated with one of his videos is no matter what you think about his content, he is the exact epitome. He is the perfect YouTuber. He has no flaws in his videos. They're regular. They have good thumbnails. They have good clickbait titles. He talks fast. He's got loads of energy. He engages his audience. He's on Snapchat. He's on Instagram. He networks all of his different social blades within his whatever social things. Spell his name, please. It's Morgz. And I was just watching those videos thinking, because he's already got 1 million, and it's rightly deserved. And I think I saw in his comments a lot of people saying this is terrible and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it is. I think he's an example of a kid who started doing YouTube, and he's watched Alfie Days, he's watched Dan and Phil, he's watched The Americans, and he's decided, I'm going to be like that. And it's just odd. He is British, I think. I don't know. Essentially what I'm saying is I often do wonder about what would happen if I could try and get the Crabstickz formula to work in 10-minute daily things. And I've never been able to do that because I say to myself, well, it's going to make it shit. However, in the world of YouTube, what is worse? Not doing that because it's shit, or not doing anything at all? No, wait. What? Yeah, okay. In the world of YouTube, if I did a shit video every single day, I would end up much bigger than if I did a good video every month. Do you get what I mean? Don't do something just because of the views, says the user. It's a very fascinating argument, this. I do love it. Don't do something for the views. Don't do something for the money. The problem is, it's kind of connected to your sense of success on YouTube. Because there's no audience clapping, my things aren't unveiled in some kind of red carpet premiere. I don't have reviews in newspapers. If I don't get lots of views and lots of hits from a video, it does mean that I have to go away and think, well, that was maybe shit then. The thirst of fame is the problem, says Bolero. I think I would argue that, weirdly, the reason why I'm saying this now, thank you, Dana, is actually because I think I've lost my need for fame. I think my need for fame actually stopped me making any YouTube videos at all, because every time you make a YouTube video, you kind of lose subscribers. I would say because I've lost a certain need to be famous, I feel like I'm actually ready now to start making videos again, but that aren't that great. Not because I'm not trying, but because I guess in a way it's like I've built up my YouTube persona. I've made these videos in the past, and they're kind of holding me back. And if you look at PewDiePie and how successful he is, and how much his audience appreciate what he does, and how funny he is sometimes, and he's world famous now, I don't think he puts that kind of pressure on himself. And like I said, it's okay me saying, well, I could do better video than PewDiePie, but I can't because I don't. Do you know what I mean? Olin Rogers' response video to you is relevant to this topic, says Kells Anna. I can't remember what he said. But like what I'm saying, Kells, it's I think the argument's changing. I know a lot of people fall on the it's kind of a cliche, or it seems to make sense, right? Do what you do, make videos for yourself, don't do it for the views, blah 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 blah. I think the world's changed a little bit now, and I don't think doing something for the views, or doing videos for an audience, is necessarily a bad thing. It's what YouTube is, really. And the thing is, what I tend to notice is a lot of our culture's been flipped in a way, to kind of sound good but actually do us damage. Because what I've noticed is there's a lot of people who say, no, it's quality over quantity, only make videos for yourself, not for anybody else, and don't do it for the money. And I found that the people who say that usually aren't making anything, or they're in a creative a writer's block. Do you know what I mean? Do you not just need to change your definition of success, says Kitty Flumph. But that's what I did. That's what I did. And I'd never considered doing a video every day that might just be a bit looser than a tightly edited sketch that kills me. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna. Basically, it's synonymous. I hate writer's block. I think I did, but what I hate more about it is I believe that if you keep hitting a writing block, it is because you're doing it wrong. If you know what I mean. So I was saying, how can I make another YouTube video? How can I keep making sketches? Blah blah blah. And I think when I changed the question to why should I do YouTube rather than how should I do YouTube, I think it made a little bit more sense that actually what I've learnt with YouNow is I kind of like this interaction with the audience and this kind of daily thing where I'm not trying to write some kind of sketch or masterpiece to put pressure on myself and then not do anything. Whereas I think I can do entertainment in a different way. I'll say this as my last thing. I do like trying to talk about YouTube to fans, because I often think that you guys don't really get to see how crazy this stuff kind of sends YouTubers. But what I've noticed is this. YouTuber starts on YouTube, is a very young person, right? Maybe wants to be an artist, comedian, musician, but is very young, doesn't know what they're going to do. So they go on YouTube and they get really, really successful. This is a good thing, but it isn't. It's actually a bad thing, because that young person will then consider that that's the only way to do how they should do it. They don't grow artistically. They don't try and take risks, or they don't try something else. They don't delete their channel and say, I did that, now I'm going to do something else. They actually stay trapped in a kind of, oh, I can't really do that. I've got to keep doing this because that's why I'm big on the internet. Basically, what I'm saying is a lot of young people want to be big on the internet. What I'm saying is don't want to be big on the internet. Just say to yourself, if there's anybody watching this who's going to be making YouTube videos or any kind of creative thing, say to yourself, where do I want to be in 10 years? You don't want to be big straight away. My God, you don't want to be big straight away, because it changes your concept of what you do. Stop making us hated. Do art for art's sake, says JCrass23. Obviously, the big argument of do art for art's sake is that once you reach a certain age where you're in debt or you've got to pay rent, there is a very different approach. Is that a cat or a cow, says Justin G. I'm sorry, I took so long to answer your question, I don't know what you're talking about, my darling. The YouTube formula has definitely changed, says Megan H. You okay, Chris? Stop moaning yet? I think that's definitely where I do draw the line. I think there definitely comes a point with talking about YouTube. Cheers. Where it is moaning, really. I think you're right to say, don't moan. It's not entertaining for you guys. And I think it's actually a much better thing to do to kind of to have a moan about YouTube or anything in your life, school, whatever, and then kind of say to yourself after you've had a moan, well, maybe it's not that important. But we'll see what happens. I mean, who gives a shit really? Because we're all going to die and turn to dust. You're taking 8 years to open my fan mail, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes. Where have you sent it? If you've sent it to my house, I will burn it on sight. Crabstickz is now 93 on Top Broadcaster. You called me darling, so I forgive you. It's all right, my darling. Thank you, whoever just sent me bars. I didn't see your username. I really respect your honesty, Crabbo. Honesty's overrated. Are you going to VidCon US, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes? I doubt it. I think, for me personally, I'd go to a VidCon if I was doing YouTube, if you know what I mean. I don't think I can find a way of... I don't know, it's quite a lot of money going to VidCon. And I would say that I don't know if I would feel comfortable going to VidCon when I haven't made videos. Because I think a lot of people would just ask me all weekend, when are you going to make more videos? And it would make me sick inside. Because I would have to say, I don't know how to do them anymore. I just don't think it would be fun. And the same goes for Summer in the City. I don't think I'm going to be there. But anyone who's going to Summer in the City, you're going to be surrounded by creators that are actually making stuff for you. I think you're going to be busy enough without me there. You're co-doing YouTube. I don't know what that means, Daniela. European Bagel says, Summer in the City scared me when I went. Oh, it's a scary place. Oh my God, Chris, I love you so much. Please don't love me. It's a waste of your love. Love yourself. Not in that way. It's entertaining. I love your thoughts, says Justin G. Well, you can have them. Please take them from me. Stop cyberbullying me, you bagelist, says European Bagel. I didn't mean to bully you. It's just hard. Because you're a bagel and you come rolling in, I just want to kind of make fun of your bagel body. Chris, I won't be happy without you there, says Awkward You will. I think you're just saying that because Dan and Phil will be there. PJ will be there. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because I don't know if they actually are. I presume they are. I think everyone goes. I've missed a lot of Summer in the Cities. I rarely go to them, and I rarely go to VidCon. It's just not my cup of tea, really, just because I'm not that bothered. 3 qualities you admire, Bellburger. I don't know what you mean. Do you mean in a person or just in the universe? 3 qualities I admire: mind, body, and spirit. Thank you, Salex. You're philosophical. It's nice to hear, says Justin G. I don't know if I am. Do you enjoy meeting your fans, says Emily the Strange. I think I do. It's a little bit odd now because this is going to sound horrible, but it has happened a lot, and I have been at those meet and greets where you stand there for 2 hours saying hi to everyone. I would say that I don't really hate it, and I don't really like it, if you know what I mean. I think it's just a thing to me. And I know a lot of people probably... Thank you, Sparking Lewis. I know a lot of people kind of get really upset by this idea that if I said something like, I'm not really that excited by fans and meeting fans. And I've had a couple of instances where a fan or a guest has come up to me and they've said, do you remember me from last year? And I have to say, well, no, of course not, because there's so many of you here. And I just think it's an odd position to be in, meeting a lot of people in 2 hours. Thank you, hey, it's Dana. Tip to 100 bars. Why you got a crown? Although I wouldn't find it stressful. I really do enjoy. I really do enjoy the actual meet and greets when I'm doing them, and I tend to go well over the time that I'm given, just because it's not because I'm trying to show off. I just get quite into it. Bertie B, thank you, but I would say that it does send you a bit crazy eventually. In you, says Bellburger. What's the best qualities in me? What? I'm not just saying that. I want a hug, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes. I forgive you because you're a cutie, says European Bagel. Thank you, Nikita T. Obviously, everyone's a bit flirty tonight. I think you all need to just cool your jets, okay? Sit on a washing machine or something. Would you ever leave YouTube and do something different, says Julia Tara. I think, to be honest, Julia, what I've realised is... Thank you, hey it, Dana. Thank you, Dana. What I've realised is I think I did leave YouTube. I never really made it public. I have really left YouTube. I mean, if you look at my channel, I popped in to say, talk about Whipped and drop Whipped. And I think I made a video a couple of months before that. I did leave, if you think about it. I didn't make a kind of video saying I'm quitting or anything, because that would be the same as saying, I don't know... Yeah, about Oscar's Hotel, that's it. It's like, you can, thank you, Dana, you can take a break from Twitter, can't you, and maybe go on holiday, but then you don't get rid of Twitter. I think that's what YouTube is for me. Just because I've decided I'm kind of going to go and do some acting and not really do YouTube videos, I'm not just going to delete the channel or say I've quit. It's a social network, really. I think everybody, now that YouTube is such a professional thing, everybody treats it a bit like a Netflix series or Netflix channels, when really it's all... you don't like fame, says Aquamarine Blue. I don't think so, no. I think what YouTube has taught me is that I don't really like fame at all. Hi, thank you, I'm Snowed Under. Obviously, it's a bit hypocritical being on YouTube, being on Twitter, being on this, YouNow, talking to, let's have a look, 395 people. Oh, thank you, Dana. It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it, saying I don't like fame, but thank you, Megan H. It is my opinion now, I think. But don't get me started on fame. Let's put it this way. I had a lot of energy when I started doing YouTube, because I did want to be famous, 17 years old, or however old I was, maybe in my early 20s, actually, wasn't I? Nikita, thank you. Of course you want to be famous, because it means everybody likes you. It means you're on the telly. It means your parents are proud of you and all that shit. It means you get laid loads. So of course you want to be famous. I think now that I've spent some time in America and doing the YouNow thing, the YouTube thing, going to YouTube events and going to premieres and shit, I think I know exactly what fame is now. And it's not something I'm interested in anymore, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's bad in a way, because when you lose the need to be famous, you kind of lose part of yourself that wanted, like, for example, if I made loads and loads of videos because part of me wanted to be famous, if I stop wanting to be famous because I've gotten over it, then why would I make more videos? I think what's taken me a long time to get round to, thank you, Dana, it's a state of being whereby I want to make YouTube or comedy simply because of the art of making comedy or creation, rather than having some kind of need to be discovered. And it's not very easy. I think a lot of people kind of talk about fame as in, if you want to be famous, you're selfish or greedy or arrogant. I think everybody wants some level of fame, even if it's just having lots of people turn up to your birthday party. And I just don't think... I think what I'll say is this. What my big lesson from fame is this. From what I got from it, right? Fame is literally the person's ability to create a projected illusion of themselves, which is then accepted by other people to be fame. So, for example, if I'm in a boy band and I'm famous, it's not because I'm a famous person and I'm emanating fame and fame is coming out of my face and it's making the fangirls scream. Fangirls are screaming because of the fame that has been created uh, by the PR and by the companies and by what they've decided to put out. The kind of Wizard of Oz effect, basically. All famous people are essentially behind a little curtain, just giving away little bits of themselves and trying to kind of manipulate a sense, a character, a persona, if you will, and then making sure that that persona stays in shape. So what I learned was this, is you can get really famous, but what you have to accept is it's only your avatar that's famous. You're not famous. People don't want to know me. They want to know Crabstickz or the Chris Kendall they see on YouNow. Because nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows who George Clooney is. Nobody knows who Robert Downey Jr. is. But we do know from the clips that we're given what he is. And yeah, so there, that's what I mean. Somebody just said fame is exhausting. That's what I worked out. Because there's nothing wrong with, by the way, wanting to be famous or being famous, but that process of having to constantly fire a persona, making that persona perfect, keeping that persona's opinions in line, keeping that persona, where it needs to be, pushing the persona more, getting the persona on TV shows, getting it out there. It's the most tiring thing in the world. And if you've got the energy for it, you can do it. But if you haven't got the energy for it, it's going to kill you. Fame is like a drug, not to sound cheesy or something, but I think it is. Well, I think, yeah, I think obviously it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it, saying fame is a drug? Because I think it's said so much that people assume that it's just addictive, but it's more of how a drug is used to change your sense of self. So you take a drug to feel differently about yourself, and I think that's where the addiction comes from. I think a lot of people assume being famous is just being exactly who you are, but with lots of money and prizes, when really being famous is working out what people want and then becoming it. Do you know what I mean? So be charming like Robert Downey Jr., be handsome like George Clooney, be political like Emma Watson, be perfect, wear perfect dresses. You can't just be famous by being yourself. You have to change yourself into the thing, into the pinnacle of what people want to see. And my God, is it exhausting. I don't think every famous person is like this, definitely. I've missed your username. That's definitely the case. I think, like all of my opinions, they're only thoughts, and I would say that what I've just said is definitely not 100% the case, and I think it may just be the case for me personally, or maybe the odd famous person. There's obviously different ways to become famous, but I think there are famous people out there who are not who we think they are, if you know what I mean. For example, I always imagined Seth Rogen is Seth Rogen. And I would be disappointed if he wasn't, but I always imagine he is. And then there's other celebrities that are like, the Only Way is Essex characters, or Made in Chelsea or something. People on Celebrity Big Brother that are doing what I'm talking about, where they have to constantly keep an image going. He always plays himself, apparently, says Julia Earle. There you go. I think that's what whoever said, not all famous people are like that. I think that's true. There definitely is those out there that are not. Might the most famous people just be the most lonely ones? Well, this is the Wizard of Oz thing, Everybody in the land of Oz is petrified of the wizard, but the wizard is just a small man behind a curtain, desperately pulling at levers. But in the same respect, I was talking about this with my little sister. Not this in particular, but the idea that my little sister comes home and she acts like a goofball. She acts like a real fool. She does funny faces, says really stupid things, and is really goofy like me. But when she goes to school, she has to be somebody else. She has to fit in. She has to be cool. And I think everybody, and I think that's why for a lot of you guys, school is quite depressing, because it takes a lot of energy to try and be someone you're not all the time, and then go home and then you can be normal. Because that's what I had at school. I was Crabstickz at school, well, what I describe Crabstickz is just my crazier self. But I wasn't like that at school. You have to blend in. You have to, you can't stand out at school. That's the worst thing you can do. You can't be an individual. So then I would come home and start acting crazy, and then go back to school and go through it. And I think that's always been a reason why I'm like how I am now. I'm not very, I'm very odd on the internet, and I think it's because I'm letting it all out, because I've spent all of my years in school and uni where you have to just pretend you're some kind of robot. I'm a normal person with normal beliefs, but who knows? My parents are famous, and it put me off fame completely. It is odd. I've seen that pattern in the world of celebrity, that you kind of assume that if your mum and dad are famous, that you'd be famous, or the kids would be famous, just from whatever. And obviously there is a fair few kids that are famous because the parents are famous, definitely. But it does seem that if your parents are famous and you're growing up in a fame world, I think the kids get a first-hand look at how fame isn't actually that interesting. And they have a mum and dad that has to work twice as hard to keep fame going. And they probably think to themselves, fuck that, I'm going to be a vet. Whereas people with normal parents, they see their lives as normal, and they think, I want to be famous. I really want to be famous. And they kind of paint themselves into a corner of stress and anxiety, having to keep a false persona going for as long as humanly possible. I'd like to know who you really are, says Justin G. You never will, if you think about it. If I was to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, maybe they would. Or a wife, husband, maybe they would. My mum does, my family do. But I would say that for most people, you never really know. We never really know each other, not really. Not if we're honest with ourselves. I've discovered, because of YouTube, I've got quite a lot of different types of friends in different cliques. And I have different, I wouldn't say personalities, but I have different ways of speaking with different friends. So, for example, I'm friends with Jimmy, right? Jimmy0010. And he's from around where I live. He's from more north, anyway, of England. And I talk to him a lot more northerly. And I have other friends that I talk to a little bit more flirtily. Or I've got other friends that I pretend I'm an idiot because it makes them laugh. You know what I mean? It's odd. And I would say that I don't really know if there's somebody that I hang out with that I really act 100% who I truly am. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying I'm some kind of serial killer. I'm just saying that even now, I don't talk like this. As soon as this live show's over, I shut the laptop, I make myself a cup of tea, and I watch telly with my mum. And I don't talk like this. But there you go. What can you do? What happened to the Fantastic Foursome, says Awkward Woonicorn Vibes. I do have to keep reiterating this every single time we do a show. I think I need a catchphrase, don't I, to answer the Fantastic Foursome question. I like that one from Bertie B. Just ugh. But like I said, somebody wants to know. I'm gonna answer every single time somebody asks. It's just old. It's just old. It's 5 years old now. It was something that happened 5 years ago. Nothing happened. We all just moved on. We all just did other things. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like if I was to ask you, well, what happened to Jessica? Your friend you had in kindergarten, or reception, or whatever you call it in England, nursery. oh, well, we just didn't go to the same school and we, drifted apart. Yeah, it's that. I see them sometimes at VidCon, but just because we made a video together in 2013 doesn't mean we're some kind of boy band. I mean, I always want to ask the question, I'm going on a rant now. I always want to ask the question, what exactly is the Fantastic Foursome from your guys' opinion? Because from what I can tell, we did like 2 or 3 videos together, just prattling around. What is the Fantastic Foursome when you talk about it? Because the Fantastic Foursome, the reason why we were called that is because we had to come up with a name for all 4 of us, because we did a combined channel on, it's like a collab channel, but not on YouTube. It was on something else. It was on a new thing that's deleted now, not Formspring, but it was this thing where you answered questions. VU, that's it. And VU paid us. VU said, we really like you guys. We'd really like you guys to create a channel. We give you like 20 cents for every question you do. Blah, 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 blah. And we already kind of knew each other. So they put us together and we all started doing YouNow in one kind of group. And we called it the Fantastic Foursome. It took us ages to come up with that. And that was it. Do you know what I mean? And I know we've done videos together, but I mean, there's like 3 videos. I often find it so strange that we made maybe 5, 6 videos together and people kind of still talk about it now. How odd. I mean, I honestly think people will be talking about the Fantastic Foursome till the day I die. The nurse is going to come into my room as I lay on my deathbed and say, do you think maybe you could do a Fantastic Foursome video before you die? Maybe? But I'm dying. Yeah, but maybe just do just do a challenge. It'd be really nice to see the Fantastic Foursome back together again. I don't know. I miss it, but I understand. But that's the thing, Elijah. I want you guys to try and to explain to me what exactly is the Fantastic Foursome. What do you miss? I just don't get it. And nobody's giving me answers. Come on, people. What is the Fantastic Foursome? Bants. As if. The chemistry of you guys was incredible. Okay, chemistry. Chemistry between all of you. Just the connection, I guess. Well, that's the thing, guys. The connection between all 4 of us as one unit isn't there anymore. We're all still friends and we still all know each other on YouTube. It's just that we do different things now. Dan and Phil are very busy with their shows. PJ is a filmmaker, so he's always working on films. And I'm doing whatever the fuck I'm doing. We're just not... I mean, we all did that. I think we were all at uni when we did that. So it's like, you've got a lot of free time on your hands. But please do hang out tomorrow where I'll be answering the same question again. But you guys are hilarious together. All unicorn vibes. I don't mean to sound rude, by the way. You might be, again, there's some people on YouTube that watch the Fantastic Foursome videos and think it happened last week. I think it is now coming up to close to 6 years old now. So again, I don't mean to be offensive. We liked the flirting, says Justine G. I should stop. You now have sent me particular emails telling me to stop flirting with you guys because it goes against the community guidelines. Follow me on Instagram, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes. I'm going to leave that up there for anybody who wants to follow her there. I'm not going to, because I don't know who you are. I can't just follow loads of people on Instagram. It would be turned into some kind of uncontrollable mess. But if anybody here wants to follow Awkward Unicorn Vibes, it's a strange world we live in at the moment, isn't it? Where people say, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to me. But they say all this before anyone knows what they've done. It's almost like instead of J.K. Rowling putting out Harry Potter and then people reading it, she's kind of saying, read my book. You know, you just see her standing in Waterstones or your local bookshop, and she's just there. Read my book. Read my book. Well, what's it about? Read my book. That's what, to me, social networking is. It's basically asking people to follow you or to subscribe to your content, but not actually advertising what you do, if you know what I mean. If there's anybody here who is trying to get big on social networks and stuff, that's what I would suggest is going to happen after this social bubble is gone, is that you have to start saying, oh, I make art. I do comedy sketches, and we did a really good comedy sketch about so-and-so. I make short films about this. Would you like to watch? Rather than just saying, watch my thing. You see it on big YouTubers when they bring out a video, and there's always people in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my channel. What do you mean check out your channel? Check out why. Why should I check out your channel? You know, oh, I make Minecraft videos. Yeah, and? I don't know. Because subs, mate. Yeah, but that's what I mean. That there is maybe 2 or 3 years left before this all, you know, something going a bit viral is big. You know, there's more people coming to YouTube every day. There's more people making content every day. Eventually, there's going to be so many people making content that's kind of clickbaity and whatever. You know, in 2 or 3 years, when more people join it, that eventually there's going to have to be a whole new way to get noticed. And it is actually going to be having to do something good. Because loads of new... I think every YouTuber should be petrified of kids. Thank you, Denny Schwisk. Every new YouTuber should be petrified of kids. Because every single year, a whole new batch of fucking 16-year-olds are ready to make content that's like 10 times funnier, 10 times quicker, 10 times better. And the number's doubling every year. There's more people doing YouTube every single year. I don't know. Follow me on MySpace, says Sarah Lee. So fuck off, man. Come on. MySpace is dead. It died a long time ago. Content. I meant the flirting in Fantastic Foursome, says Justin G. Yeah, I guess we did flirt a lot, but we did it in a non-sexual way, knowing that you guys would react to it strongly. Still do it now. Try vlogging. I tried vlogging. I don't like it. You have to have a life that's interesting to have vlogging be... What I find with vlogging is if you do vlogging, you've got to watch all the footage back. And if your life is a kind of pathetic mess of you know, crap, you don't want to sit and edit that for hours. I post video edits and picture edits, said Awkward Unicorn Vibes. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you like yourself some photo edits or picture edits, you get yourself down there. I'm interactive with my followers. I like this. Whoever Awkward Unicorn Vibes is, you've got the right attitude. You're selling yourself. You're getting yourself out there. You've got to interact with your followers. You've got to talk to them. You can't just ignore them. MySpace lives on in my heart, says Krusty McSponge. I think it all does, in a way. I seem to remember, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like MySpace was good, but quite a nostalgia for it, just because talking to somebody on the internet or sending messages to your friends or having a friends list was very powerful at the beginning, especially because all of us were younger and it's a lot more exciting. I remember nearly shitting myself the first time I went into a chat room. And obviously the first thing I did, being the dickhead I am, you know, making stupid comments or pretending I'm Patrick Stewart or something. But The first time I did Xbox Live as well, playing a game online with other people, because I wasn't really an online gamer before with PC. It was Xbox Live. And I remember being petrified of it because it was like, these are real people. I'm playing Midtown Madness with real people. Shit. I couldn't put the headphone on, the head thing. I literally couldn't put it on because I was terrified. Yeah, Chris, your Harrogate video was basically a mundane vlog, but you enjoyed it. That's the thing, you know. Sometimes I have the energy to do it, but it's definitely not every day. Because I don't go to town with my mum every day. Most of my days are exactly the same. I'm not a very successful person, if you will. I don't have a lot going on. For example, today I played Assassin's Creed 2. I played some Batman. I played a little bit of Bayonetta. And that was my day. And then I had meatballs. So again, where does a vlog come into that? But we'll see. MySpace lives on in my heart. God bless you, MySpace. It's fucking Facebook next. Facebook needs to die. Facebook is a terrible, terrible machine. Are you comfortable with where you are and what you're doing now, says Spooper. No, I'm not. I'm not very comfortable at all. And it makes me very angry from day to day. I'm very irritable, and I'm not a very happy person. Hi, my speech went well, says Brianna Rama. Brianna Rama, you were saying yesterday that you had a speech coming up, and I gave you some advice. I don't know if you actually took the advice, but if you did, and that's the reason why it went well, then it's all down to me. But well done. I mean, again, I still don't know what your speech is about because I gave you some advice, and now we're all saying congratulations to Brianna Rama. But there is, you know, the possibility it was some kind of racist rant to the alt-right, and I would never know. But good, you know, perfect anyway, isn't it? 238 people are watching you on YouTube right now. Tell them to come interact with you on YouNow. No, I refuse to say that. I refuse to say it. I'm not just going to say that. If you're watching me on YouTube, you do what you want. You do you. God bless you for trying, you know. YouTube Rat Pack, says Megan H. Don't know what that means. Well, Fantastic Foursome were not the YouTube Rat Pack. Friend me on Habbo, says Felicia Yu. I mean, I don't know if I'm showing my age now, but I don't know what Habbo is. I can have 2 social networks before any more than 2, and it's you're heading yourself into crazy town. But here's the thing, right? This is what I've started to realise with social networks is it's not that they're shit that I don't do them. It's because I don't have the concentration or the energy or the desire to have too many of them. Because I come from a time where I grew up, my formative years only had MySpace, and that was it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's why I describe why my video game tastes have changed. I really don't like games like The Witcher 3 and not Dragon Age, I don't know what it's called, or, you know, these really big video games now. They're huge, huge. Video games are absolutely massive now, and I really can't get into them. And it's like these games are so big that you spend like 70 hours on them before you've even, you know, learned how to play it. And I prefer going all the way back to Crash Bandicoot 3 with 30 levels, and you can finish it in a couple of hours. Dark Souls is quite a good game as well. So what I've found is, rather than complaining about video games and saying they're shit, because they're not shit, because there's kids who are 15 now who are playing Horizon Dawn and Destiny and all these new games, and they love what's that game? Not Obstacle. What's it called? Overwatch. I played Overwatch, and I realised I'm never going to like this. I'm never going to like Overwatch because it's too big. There's too much going on. There's too much practice involved. I mean, Mario Kart is always good, but they've always stuck to quite an old school aesthetic with it, haven't they? My brother is obsessed with it, says Bertie B. I mean, I know. I think that's why I started saying to myself that I had a PlayStation 4 and I really hated it. I hated having to download stuff. I hated having to update stuff. I hated all the saving and downloading and uploading and shit like that. And then the game itself would be so complicated. And I really hate open world games where it's like, you can do whatever you want. I don't want to do whatever I want. I want a video game. I could do whatever I want now in life. I mean, some games are good. I mean, I really liked Bloodborne. I really like Resident Evil games and all that kind of stuff. But I really just find that I'm at an age now where playing video games is kind of just to unwind, isn't it? It's just, you know, you've had a hard day at work, unwind a bit and, you know, move on. And to be honest, playing an hour of brand new video games that are current now fucking stresses the shit out of me. You don't even feel like you're playing anything. Obviously, this isn't the case for all games, and I would love a PlayStation 4. But, I don't know, just playing old video games for an hour or two, it's like literally just enough. But again, this is what I'm saying. It's not because video games have got shit, it's because I'm comfortable with a certain time period of games that reflects when I was happiest playing games as a child. Do you know what I mean? I had a nightmare about crabs today, said Sydney Rember. Thank you, Jasmine P. Sydney, do explain. How on earth can you have a nightmare about crabs? They're such kind, beautiful creatures. Add me on PS4 and I'll send you bagels. I don't have a PS4 anymore. I had to sell it to pay rent. I think everyone just wants to be liked, says Justin G. I think that's true. I think we all do deep down. We all want to be liked. The problem is we want to be liked with certain caveats, certain rules. And I think that's where a lot of people fuck up. Me and my friends are always ourselves, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes. I think you always are around your friends, especially in high school when you find your little group of friends, your in-betweeners, or the mean girls, or the jocks, you know what I mean? You find your little group. And yeah, I think I was very, very much myself around my buddies in high school. College is where you find your friends. Have you seen Riverdale? I have. Although I haven't watched episode 2. It's like all Netflix show for me. I'll watch the first one. I watched Legion and said, yeah, this is quite good. It's good. And then I just never watch episode 2, ever. Because there's already something new and more interesting out. Oh my god, I've done an hour 27. Shit. Although, yes, Cole Sprouse is very attractive. I can't believe I've done an hour. I was expecting to look down and it be 45 minutes. I've done way too much today. I'm way over my limit. I'm not supposed to do this much. Do you know what I mean? Because, well, maybe 1 hour 27 is the new fucking limit, you know? Sorry tonight hasn't been very funny. Sometimes I come on and I'm quite tired, but I think yesterday was mental. But that's why I find YouNow quite interesting. Even doing it on days where I'm not feeling it, it does mean that I do find out more about you guys and more about myself, especially on days when I'm not feeling it. It's a bit like how what's-her-name, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, talks about creativity. It's kind of just more important to be there every day and see what happens rather than wait for inspiration. If I waited for inspiration to do YouNow, I don't think I'd ever do it. Whereas if I do it every day, yep, some are good, some are slow, thank you Nikita, but something always happens, don't they? Do your fans cheer you up sometimes on sad days? They do cheer me up. They do. But I think rather than it being the fans cheering me up, I think it's more to do with the fact that I'm just distracted from, you know, thinking too depressingly. Do you know what I mean? Thank you, Ellie Shambles. You know, while I'm around you guys talking, drinking Red Bull, talking about Netflix, Ellie Shambles, I'm not just sitting around getting more worried about shit. Did you get me? YouTube's a great distraction, Emily the Strange 17. I think you're correct. It is a great distraction, and I'm trying to get my head around making videos again. I want you to be okay, says Beth M. I want you to be okay. We all want each other to be okay. Whether we'll get that or not is up to you. Oh God, there was the nightmare, but it's already gone. The nightmare was about the crab climbing underneath the covers, and I woke up because when I tried to move away, my dream, it moved in real life. Jesus Christ. I had a great moment the other day where I woke myself up because I had my arm like this, and my other arm was like this, and I think this arm had gone to sleep, and they touched, and obviously it felt like an arm was trying to grab my hand. So in my dream, I was kind of pulling at a hand from this person in a crowd or something, like, get the fuck off me. And then I woke up and I was just holding myself like that. Fantastic. What room do you film in, says Dana Likes Donuts. I don't know. Who is this gay, says Prince Champion, finally. Somebody who's using their mind, somebody who's trying to work out the problems with the world, trying to see the world for how it is. He asks questions about life. He doesn't just go through life, you know, like one of the sheeple. He asks questions. Who is this guy? Who's this guy? Who is that? What's that dog doing? It's all about me nowadays. Follow me, says Julia Tara. I think so, but and then at the same time, that's the way the universe and our creative world is going. I don't think saying it's automatically shit's a good idea. It's kind of like, you know, at one time it was about novels, then it was about poems, then it's about theatre, then it's about movies, then it's about radio, then it's about podcasts, and now it's about vloggers. You know? What time did you even go to bed? I mean, I go to bed pretty early to kind of keep the demons at bay. And you say you're not philosophical, says Justin G. I am quite philosophical. OMG, ASL throwback. Age, sex, location, yes. You don't see that many, you don't see that at all, really, do you, actually? I mean, like, give up your popularity, says Julia Tara. I don't know what you mean there, Julia Tara, because it must have been an old conversation, and I take a long time to get through these messages. Give up your popularity, but that is kind of what I have accepted that I have to do. Popularity is not as fun as creativity, and I think the place I'm at is I just can't have both. I can't do the things I want to do and be fucking Tyler Oakley, you know, popular and loved. Speech was about when I went to the UK. Okay, Panorama, I see. So you did a speech about going to the UK and it went really well. Good. Thank you, Nikita. Do you like Panic at the Disco? No. I want to give you all the hugs right now, says Awkward Unicorn 5. God bless you. I accept them. I can feel them in my mind's eye. Please don't delete your channel, says Justin G. I don't think I will. But if you watch the same conspiracy channels I do, there is going to be a massive electronic, EMP attack, which is going to delete all of YouTube, all of Twitter, all your Instagrams, and it's going to leave us with nothing. So, try and make sure you've got some real world skills. Open world equals same thing over and over, says Felicia Yu. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I love Grand Theft Auto. That's open world, and I would say that's perfect. But, The Witcher 3 just did my tits in. You need a herb before you can do that spell. Well, where's this herb, then? Travel to the... Fuck off. I think here's my final thoughts on video games. When video games first came out right at the beginning, that 8-bit shit, those games used to be really, really hard, but not necessarily because they were better games, but because the size of the cartridges could only fit a certain amount of video game in, and it would only take you about 20 minutes to finish Mario if it was easy. So they had to make games really, really, really difficult, and you had to be really good at them to be able to, finish the game. Most people didn't finish Sonic 2. It's too fucking hard. But that's because the games, there's only 8 megabytes on those fucking cartridges. And as the games progressed, they could add more and add more and add more, whatever. And what I think has happened is we're now in this period of video games where what they're trying to make people do is spend at least 70 hours on a game before they even get going. Do you know what I mean? So it's about getting a character that has no powers, and you've got to upgrade them piece by piece. You've got to get loads of XP piece by piece. You've got to do loads of missions and subquests, and then you've got a character that's good enough. And the problem is, in all honesty, a game like Destiny or a game like fucking, I don't know, all those building up games, it's almost as if you could really do it in maybe 10 hours. These games are only 10 hours long, except they know so well how to keep people on it all the time, building up these characters. And it's just like, in the old days, the video game characters were exactly who they were, all the way through the game. They didn't become more powerful, you just got the character. And again, it's not a bad thing. I just want to point out, because I know a lot of you will probably play these games and love them, like Skyrim. Even I like Skyrim. It just seems to me that sometimes when I'm collecting things or I'm trying to get XP just to have, like say in Diablo or something, to make my character a little bit stronger, it's like, well, I don't know. I could have finished this if it wasn't for this fucking mechanic. But anyway. Kitana says hi, and she loves you, says that one unicorn. She obviously doesn't. She doesn't know who I am. Have you been auditioning for plays? Said Sarah Lisa L. No, I haven't, actually. I'd love to be in a play. Write a play for me, and I'll be in it. Felicia, what would you want to do if not acting? I don't know. Just travelling the world as a kind of homeless shaman that helps people, but not in a way that they know, in a way that's kind of like really subtle. And they don't even know that I help them. I do it in secret. I just go from town to town helping people. Kind of like a samurai type character, but without the sword, because I'd be arrested. Yes, let's get started on fame, says Justin G. A little bit late with that question. That's why I'm trying to get through them all now, because I think that conversation was about an hour ago. On Instagram, can you follow me, says Awkward Unicorn Vibes. I don't really follow people on Instagram. I don't even have it on my phone at the moment. Go to sleep, Crabbo. You deserve it, says European Bagel. Thank you. I must keep broadcasting. My group Fangirls reads fan fiction. Fan fiction. Do you love me? I love Chris. Always remember. Okay. Chris, you've distracted me too long. Have a happy night. We're something. I am going to go now, by the way. I'm just trying to get through people's messages. Although I don't know if that's a good thing, is it? Getting through people's messages? I don't know if you guys have to use bars to do a message, or if I accept it, isn't it? I could just stop now, can't I? And it'll probably save you money for from a time when I'm actually doing it properly. I don't know. Well, I know that, says Justin G. Jesus. No, keep going, says Justin G. All that makes us happy are distractions, says Justine G. I guess that's true. But isn't all life a no. God bless Cheyenne. God bless Cheyenne. I don't know what that is in reference to, Bertie B. I think we're all kind of just talking to ourselves now. Would you like to visit Asia someday? I like how that's, placed, how you've worded that, like it's kind of like a little offer there. That's nice. Would you like to come to Asia with me? I'd love a friend like that. Would you like to come to Asia with me? Just gonna pop to Asia. Do you want anything from Asia? But Shanonymous, I'd love to come to Asia, especially with you. But this is definitely the end of the show now, ladies and gentlemen, because this has gone on far too long. I don't know how this has happened. Most of the time, when I get a bit tired and I think maybe I should start wrapping up, I always look at the clock and it's always like, always on an hour, but today it was on an hour and a half. So sorry it hasn't been very exciting, and I haven't been my usual crazy self. I think it's because I had a heavy meal. But my top 10 fans are European Bagel at number 10, Jasmine Pachas at number 9, Shanonymous, oh wait, no, it's changed, hold on, back to the top, Jasmine Pachas at number 10, sorry I can't say your name, maybe it's Pachas, My number 9 fan is European Bagel. God bless you. My number 8 fan is Shanonymous. Do 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 do. Ellie Shambles at number 7. Awkward Unicorn Vibes at number 6. Megan Hughes at number 5. Nikita Tenelian at number 4. Justin Guinard at number 3. Oh, that's Justin G. You're Justin Guinard. That makes sense. Thanks, Nikita T. Thank you, Bertie, at number 2. And of course, number 1, I can tell you without even looking, it's Hey, it's Dana. It's Dana. Hey, it's Dana. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm going to go now because it's your Friday. Have a good weekend. I might see you on Saturday. I'll see how I'm feeling because I don't want to keep making these all the time if it makes you guys sick of me, because then you'll leave me and I'll go back to the deep darkness, which is my life. So goodbye, guys, and see you the next time I see you, which will be in your dreams. Look out.